And hey, folks, welcome on in. It is another episode of Hi Heresy. It's a new type of format for me today because I'm actually live at a normal hour. Can you believe that? It's not late at night. I have my buddy Will here with me. This is Will Curator. We attended broadcasting school together many moons ago.
In another life.
He was also my co-host on the Critical Mass show on our stint on Redline Radio.
We still allowed to call it that?
Yeah,
okay, we have the rights.
We'll give it a shout out, but yeah. So you're here with Hi Heresy today, and I've got a lot to discuss. I mean, obviously there was news today. It was announced that we're basically out of Afghanistan now, and that is a thing. So, it's pretty funny that Biden's taking a victory lap.
Afghanistan now,
and that is echo. Sorry about that, folks.
That's fun.
Biden's taking a victory lap for that, but we all know what happened. President Trump ordered that way back when he was still in office, about about a month and a half out from the election, something like that. So, it's no surprise. We knew this was coming. I'm a little bit on the fence about it, only because I think that perhaps a garrison force should have been left. I think there's going to be a vacuum. And I think that I don't think that I trust the Afghan people to hold on to their country. Because really and truly, I don't think their army has their heart in it. The Taliban are going to be back in charge. And it's going to be basically another haven for terrorism all over again.
When you pull out of a place after, what has it been, like 20 years since we ended up in there initially as a result of 9/11, and now we're going to cut and run and make it like it never happened. And what happens, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, things are going to go back to the way they were there before we even entered.
It's Godzillionaire, I should have said, instead of Secret Police in the title, I should have put the new Stasi. But
I actually like Secret Police. I like the way that sounds.
But yeah, you're right. They have been pretty open. The left is really brazen about telling you exactly what they're going to do to you. I mean, that's their playbook now, because they feel like they have the majority. They feel like they can go and dictate terms and tell you exactly what they're going to do to you. You filthy people that think outside of our narrative, we're going to do this, and this, and there isn't anything that you can do about it. That is their attitude. That is literally their attitude when it comes to all these things like this. Yeah, there's Secret Police, the secret as a secret sauce in a Big Mac. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
The Secret Police is salad dressing. Ranch, I believe.
Apollo Patriots in the house. He says, "Hail Greek mythology. I love my blue Twi'lek women. Hail and never forget the shrimp. R.I.P. the shrimp." Apollo Patriot. Exactly, buddy. Exactly. You know how we do it here. But listen, guys, to close on the topic of pulling out of Afghanistan, no, I did find it kind of funny that Biden has taken a victory lap over that, because, let's face it, again, I think it was all but 3,000 troops Trump was going to pull them. They were going to pull them all out anyway. So it's no surprise. And it's just like every administration after another administration, the next person will take the victory lap, even though we know that it was the previous administration's policy. So, there it is. But
it's not hard to figure that out. But, it's just a matter of, it happened today. Who's the president today? It's on his watch. Mm-hmm. Therefore, he'll take us off. He'll take us off. That administration, like any other administration, would take us all for idiots. Yep, I created this. It's my thing.
Exactly. Lazy Honor Productions. They even made light of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that too.
You know, they sidestepped him for over 2 years.
That's good.
Right. Exactly.
That's good. That's a good one.
You know, and that's the thing about this. But I'm just concerned that, again, it was 20 years we were over there, and what did we really accomplish? That's what I think it should frustrate you as an American to a large degree, because it seems like we didn't really accomplish the goal that we had set out. Because really and truly, I don't think there was a set goal.
What I hate most about it is this specific war was anytime, and this is just across the board, anytime my country goes to war, whether the war is just, unjust, whether it makes sense or it doesn't, I want my country to win. But in the end, now that it's over, what did we win?
That's true, because it's going to go back to the status.
What was all this time? I was, rooting for my country, and to do what though? And even in the midst of it, I had no idea what we were doing there. And now that it's done, and
Godzillionaire hit it right on the head.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. I mean, well put, Godzillionaire.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head.
That's exactly. I mean, and the whole thing is that a lot of people on both sides of the political spectrum watched their kids go over there, and a lot of their kids didn't come back.
Yeah, that's exactly true. Exactly.
For what?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't WW2. It wasn't even Vietnam, for crying out loud. And don't even get me started on that war.
Yeah, our troops were fed into a grinder. Certain officers did some interesting board appointments for contractors, and
they had sausage coming out of that thing.
Other than to be targets with no rules of engagement, that made sense. Yeah,
no rules of engagement, deregulation, anywhere you want to use.
There really wasn't anything over there in Afghanistan that made sense. At least in Iraq, okay, you loosely had it, and listen, we all know Bush was a globalist. Okay, even those of us here that are common sense conservatives in this chat, we know that Bush was a globalist. He was in with that whole globalist cabal, same as everybody in his cabinet was dirty. They're all pretty much New World Order. If you go across the board of Bush's cabinet, same thing with the Clintons. Same thing, you can go back through the administrations and who's who. Okay, it's not hard to see. So I question now the war in Iraq for one reason, and that is, did we go over there really and truly to seize the oil, and was it kind of set up by the globalists? You have to ask. You have to ask that question.
You said it yourself. Just before we went on the air that the WMDs were a guise so we could take the oil.
Oh, it was the perfect guys to take the oil. Absolutely.
And you know what? For better or worse, it was a very shrewd move.
We seized their assets. We seized their oil. We grabbed everything of worth from their country. Godzillionaire says, like that speech at the end of the movie Shooter, there are no Democrats or Republicans, just the haves and the have-nots. Thank you, sir. Exactly. That's exactly it. And listen, I'm a registered Republican. I'm a proud, I lean very proudly conservative on most of my personal beliefs, but I'm not beholden to follow the golden flute of any party. I think with common sense. I vote at least on the sense of people's merits when I'm voting for candidates. Now, I won't vote D probably ever again because they're all corrupted and I know what their platform is and none of them are breaking from that platform. So they can fuck right off. But conservatives have a big problem, and that's a lot of them are still establishment globalists. They're in there. There's a ton of corruption. And I'm hoping that the populist movement, the America First movement, will clean these fuckers out. because we need to clean those fuckers out. I mean, that's just a given. Way too many people have been in that establishment in Washington for far too long. We need term limits, and everyone in this chat room right now, you guys know we need term limits. I guarantee you, if we were to all sit there, if I can see you guys in person right now, every single person here is raising their hands when I ask the question, hey, should we have term limits? Yes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So we need that. Apollo Patriot says, clean up Hollywood. Yeah. Well, again, AP, you know how this works. And hail to Kai. Great to see you, Kai. You know how this works, AP. Hollywood is the propaganda arm of, the people in Washington. So they're always going to spit out the propaganda, whichever way that it's spinning. I mean, they're fully bought into the whole oligarchy thing because now they're a part of it, along with big tech, along with, you have big tech, big entertainment, and of course the corporate news media all in one. So you've got all of this stuff. They are the propaganda wing, period. And and that's why you can't escape all this insipid ideology, because you're constantly bombarded no matter where you go. And even sports has gotten in on the action, and that's why I don't watch a lot of sports anymore, because it's gone increasingly woke. I'm down to where I watch just football, and I'm wavering on that. If it wasn't,
I think football is as bad as it gets when it comes to being woke.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Unfortunately, it just happens to be your sport. I'm more of a baseball guy, and thankfully, I'm able, for myself, I'm able to compartmentalize it when I'm watching it. I'm able to keep it inside the white lines. That's a term I like to use during the game, and sometimes it's even hard to do that because, unfortunately, the guys pulling the strings of the broadcaster sometimes, make it so every now and then they gotta.
My buddy Brightest Day, hail Zach. He brings up a good point. He said we need a lot of things we may never actually get.
Brightest Day. Thank you for helping out there, because I was losing my train of thought. Thank you.
Godzillionaire said the NFL isn't nearly as bad as the NBA.
Yeah, you can make that argument. Okay.
Well, yeah, the NBA is. Oh God, the NBA.
Well, the NBA is more. It's more relevant than the NBA because it's still going on. The finals are going on right now.
They're in China. China. God, dude, they're so deep in with China. It's not funny.
Yeah, I guess you can't. I guess it's harder to say that for the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, they just say that China owns the NBA because essentially they do.
Remember the good old days when baseball first broke into Japan and started bringing Japanese players over, and nobody's talking about that anymore. It's all about
no, because Japan wasn't trying to take over the fucking world.
Well, that's why I called them the good old days, Drew. I mean,
Japan
ipso facto,
Japan wasn't trying to take over the world. China is.
And then Yao Ming comes over, and they're like, let's think about this.
Japan didn't unleash an atrocity upon the world like China just did with the fucking Chinese virus. All right. I mean, they did that.
Good old days. Good old days. OLE days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But OLE apostrophe days.
But the thing is, to go back to what we're talking about in the subject at hand, guys, moving to what we heard earlier this week, and that is that, if you're not vaxxed, they are going to come door to door, and they're going to send people door to door to educate you about the vaccination and its benefits, and strongly urge you to get vaccinated. Now, I don't think what they have in mind is just to try and educate you. I have a strong feeling that, You know, you can close the door in their face once. Okay, maybe the second time you can close the door again. The third time, I have a funny feeling that they are going to send people there to literally hold you down and put the shot in your arm.
If I can interrupt, they will let you slam the door on them the second time because they have to lull you into a false sense of security.
But the timing of this whole thing, okay, when this broke a few days ago, you know, I found it funny because the story that slipped under the radar was the fact that Pelosi, you know, had essentially authorized that the Capitol Police go and expand operations. They're opening a satellite, I believe, in Florida. And I think the other one was it New York? I can't remember what the other one was. But I know that eventually the plan is to get them in all 50 states. And they say that their mission statement right now on what they're going to be doing is to battle domestic threats, to root out extremism, right? That's what they're saying. But I got a feeling that after you send these people away the second time, after you close the door on them, well, the third time around, guess who's going to knock on your door? And that's where we get into the police state. And that is what I'm concerned about.
The easiest way to have a police state is to have a national police.
The only vaccine I'm going for anytime soon is tetanus.
They also give you a Tdap vaccine with that tetanus shot, in case you're wondering.
Hail Nicole Mellett, she says, strongly request you get off my porch or my bat is going to meet your ass. Just saying. You know, I have a little stronger response, Nicole. It's called Meet Mr. Sig Sauer. But yeah, you know, I will probably, if I'm not on a 3-letter agency list, I will be hauled away in cuffs at that point. But, you know, I mean, I take a stand. I take a stand. I am not going to take that vaccine. I don't want to. I think it's harmful. Brutal Morningwood said, third time your door is getting blown up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have the bat. They I don't see them approaching your house that last time with just a bat.
Right to Stay says, going to wind up with a lot of violence.
Yeah.
Godzillionaire earlier said we got the classic movie Mr.
And I was
Baseball.
about to give him a shout out for that.
Nice.
You know, nothing like a little Tom Selleck in the batter's box.
Godzillionaire replying to Nicole says, "Bat, you misspelled AR-15." And Apollo Patriot says 1984. Yes, God, it's frightening. It is like 1984.
Year I was born.
Kai says, I'd like to see another Red Scare where they root out all the commies and strip them of their citizenships. Brother, oh God, that would be glorious.
Some of the Rosenbergs are laughing their ass off.
Lazy Otter Production said, delete your memes. Yep. Dude, that's not funny, man. You know, they're gonna start coming after you for anything. You know, I mean, the FBI. Okay, and you guys saw that story because I retweeted it. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, but I retweeted it where I think it was Forbes that put out a legitimate article. Okay, the FBI was concerned because in a Capitol rioter's house, they found a Lego set of the Capitol. It's a fucking Lego set, man. I mean, you know, there's no detail. There's no inside to it. It isn't a map. It's a fucking Lego set.
Maybe it's just so they don't storm the wrong building on the mall.
No, dude.
You got a better one?
I mean, it's just stupid. Okay, so, you know, now we're insurrectionists if we own Legos, guys. So, you know, you got that You got that Lego Taj Mahal. Look out.
I have an erector set. Should I be worried?
You got that Lego Eiffel Tower. Look out. You know, you got that Lego Washington Monument. Uh-oh. I mean, it's like...
I'll come after you if you have well, obviously a picture of the Washington Monument is worse.
Godzillionaire Lego set? 3D plans, you say? Oh, man. Great.
The Legion of Doom with their Washington Monument Lego 3D Lego set.
Oh, hail, evening, Fury Kitten. Zach 7, hail, my friend. Hail, good to see you. You know, Luke Skywalker had a Lego Death Star. Yes, dude. Yes.
That's how they found that little opening where they could go in and blow up this. Yeah, it was in that Lego, this 3D Lego thing.
Nicole says, I got a Lego airplane. There you go. Oh, man. But it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. You know, these people, they've taken and tried to paint all of us that think outside the box, think outside the narrative, as extremists. You know, and I was in the Capitol on the 6th. Actually, so was Will.
Both were.
So was Will. He made that trip with me, matter of fact. So we were both there. And I can tell you from seeing with my own two eyes, all right, there is no way that things flipped on a dime without help. I mean, you know, and I'll stand by that till I go to the grave, folks. If I wouldn't have been there in person, I would have been more likely to buy into some of these crazy narratives. But I was there, and I could see this. And the situation would not nearly have been what it was without the situation being manipulated. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't add up that they let people in. It doesn't add up that, you know, there were all these violent people, but all over Twitter that morning, again, there was chatter that there were going to be bad actors there posing as patriots. That was a given. We knew that going in. You know, and all over Twitter that day, it was out there. And they and these groups openly bragged about it. Your Antifas of the world. So you put all that together, and what have you got? Well, it smells like a setup to me, and it smells like a coordinated setup. And since then, we found out 3-letter agencies were in on the action. Okay? So that tells me that you have a situation that is ripe to turn into a rallying cry for your cause because you get a chance to demonize an entire huge swath of the American people and say that they're bad people. Wookiee Lives Matter, aka Wookiee Supremacy. What's up, Wook? What doesn't add up is focusing on this instead of all the cities that burned last summer. Exactly. But see, we're not allowed to question people of that particular racial identity, are we? Or at least we're told that right now.
Oh, okay.
Demonizing people that would fight back. Yeah, they are demonizing people that will fight back. Remember to support small game companies. They make the best games. Yes, sir, they do. Hail Nigel, what's up, dude? Was Shaman Dude actually there that day? Yes, I did see him. But yeah, it's crazy how their whole thing is based on a combination of that event, COVID, and let's see, the rest of it is the whole, critical theory argument.
Perfect storm.
So that's their whole playbook right now that they're throwing out there and throwing back at us as the reason we're bad people. You know, they're using those three methods to paint us as being terrible. Nigel says, I can't believe members of Congress are openly anti-American. It is shameful. It is shameful. But again, it's what we were saying earlier, Nigel. You need to have term limits. And I guarantee you, none of these career politicians, no matter what side of the aisle, are ever going to vote for that because they don't want to give up the money, nor do they want to give up the power. And that's exactly what this is about. That's what it's always been about.
To be someone in one of these families that's of, an age where you're just finishing up high school, going to college, just get your degree and you're set for life.
So many of these people are in the globalist bubble. They're in the pyramid, moving up, and they're on certain levels. They've been given protection. They've been given power. They've been given insulation to keep their positions. They constantly run unopposed, or they have certain sympathetic lobbies behind them. So they're never going to lose, and they're never going to give up their power. We need to set term limits at the state level. To limit your own state's congressional term limits,
well, that's where it starts.
Gets around them having to do it.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
It may actually you need to start at a smaller level than that.
Hail Bone, great to see you. And hail Captain Shrek, great to see you, my friend. But that's a serious problem. And, it's funny. I haven't seen a presidential candidate come along yet either that's advocated for term limits. I mean, I guess Trump did a couple of times, but even he said it in passing. He didn't really hammer it. No, I haven't seen a candidate come along yet that's hammered it.
It's hard to win the presidency without support from your party.
I understand that, Will. I understand that whole game. But, what I'm trying to explain to everybody is that's a shell game too.
Of course, I believe that as well.
That's always been a setup.
Sure.
It's the illusion of choice. The illusion of choice, because really and truly, whoever gets in that sense, okay, is going to be strong-armed to go along with the establishment, aka the globalist plan. And if they don't, it's essentially political suicide for them, and it could be real life suicide for them in certain cases.
But I think everything you've touched on since the beginning, even probably before the beginning of the Critical Mass show on that network we used to be on together, I think it all stems from the whole argument over term limits.
Yeah,
I really believe that if the first thing you have to do if you want to make things right is set term limits.
Yeah, hail to
before anything else.
Hail to Jamie Castile. Great to see you, Jamie. Hail to the Sentinel. Great to see the Sentinel. Great patriot. Great lover of music. Always good to see my friend, the Sentinel. And our dear friend and moderator, Lady Mist. Great to see you, Lady Mist. And I hope all is well with you and your family. You're still in my prayers, darling. Absolutely. And if you need anything, please do reach out. Hail to my friend Darius Munchausen. Great to see you, Darius, as well. So people are trickling in. I appreciate that. But we're having a great conversation, and I'm really, really thankful for this, guys. Really thankful for the support. I'm thankful to be able to talk about this today with you, because this is very important. Because we need to be prepared for the active measures that are being taken against us. Because, as I said, when they key in on, hitting us with the door-to-door stuff. Then the contract tracers come knocking, and then their police goons come and start pulling people out of houses. I mean, God, it seems like they're just frothing at the mouth waiting to do this to us. And it's like, God, how can you lose your humanity that much that you would go after your fellow human being like this? It's insane. And then mark it under the guise that it's for their own good. I mean, come on.
Lucky for them, we have a good portion of a portion of this society has been brainwashed like never before, and we're talking about on both sides. And that's what's going to make it easier than ever to do so.
Well, that's what it is, Will. And I've explained to people that, listen, the whole racial divide thing is a grift. It is a joke. It is 100% bent on crushing and eliminating all the progress that civil rights made. That actual organic civil rights.
Yeah, that was going to say.
Yes. It's designed to do that. It's designed to keep people at each other's throats racially, because then you're not paying attention to the big picture, to what the government is pulling. And that's one way that they get you. Now, the other way that they get you is with the whole thing with, for the longest time, the globalist plan was built on climate change. We're going to have the sustainability, blah, 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 this and blah, 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 that. It was a load of bunk. Because everybody that has had basic science in school, when they actually used to teach real science, understands that the planet works in cycles. So that whole thing was a grift. And they take these things and they get scientists or whatever, or official looking people, to come on your television and tell you that, essentially the sky is purple, even though it's blue, but the sky is purple because science, because it's the new science. But guess what? All it is junk science, because these scientists are coming up with an alternative explanation, so they can brainwash you.
I was a C student when I took science in junior high and high school, and chances are, if I took it today, I'd be I'd be top 10%, top 10 percentile in that class.
Well, Apollo Patriot College is a brainwash. We know that. They're indoctrination centers now. They're not centers of free thought anymore. They're indoctrination centers.
When I was young, my mother, may she rest in peace, she actually said to me, when I was talking about maybe I want to go to college, maybe I don't, she's like, you need to go to college, because college is the place, and she said this verbatim, the college is the place where the primary purpose is to learn to think. That was what she said, and she couldn't have been any more dead on with that. And that's not the case anymore.
This guy is 2 + 2 =
Cat with a K, by the way. Yeah, that's even more pertinent.
Brightest say that's awesome. I can't wait to see that, dude. Nicole says, I never went to college. I went to
let me say something, Nicole. That means a lot less now than it meant 40 years ago or 50 years ago.
Yeah. Darius Munchausen said, I went to university, but I have a thick skull for propaganda, and it bounced right off.
Well, good for you, sir.
Yeah, good for you, Darius, because
so few of us.
I'll tell you what, the thing with colleges and some of these radical teachers that they hire, they're good. They're good at convincing you. I mean, they're like Goebbels level when they come in and explain stuff, because they're like smooth as silk. They can sell ice to the Eskimos type of people. So you're going to come out of their class believing a whole lot of stuff that is actually harmful. And, kids that are that young, you're in that transition where, yeah, legally you're an adult, but your mind is still youthful. It's still impressionable. And they know that. And they key in on that. And they key in on emotion. Because a lot of this movement right now on the left, the whole progressive movement is built on being reactionary, being, emotional, manipulating people's emotions. That's what they want to do. They want to make you turn off your brain and give into your emotion. And see, that is when you fight back with logic and reason. And when you do that, it's funny because one thing that you guys will notice, because I know a lot of you at one point or another have gotten into it with an SJW or two on Twitter. Okay. And when you try to have a common sense discussion or a debate with those people, you never can. Because the minute that you make sense, they can't really follow. And then that's when they come with the obvious, the insults, the name calling, you're an ist, or you're a phobe, or you're this, or you're that, and they claim, and they just sit there and double down on the fact that they're virtuous and they're anti-racist, which, by the way, anti-racist means nothing more now than they actually are the racist. So, yeah.
When you're over emotional about anything, the more emotion you bring into something, whether it be an argument or anything else, the emotion goes up, the logic goes down. You can't have both.
Brightest Day says, I took a trade, got a defense contractor job, and never looked back. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's the way to go. We need more people in the trade schools now. That's a given, because the major trades are hurting. Darius says, people are always complaining that I never listen to anybody, for better or worse. They're right.
Is that Munchausen by proxy or?
Oh, that's his screen name.
I know. Bad joke. Thanks, Darius.
Just try to convince the seamstress that just because her business survived a lockdown, that doesn't mean that 50% of all small businesses didn't shut down, and then another lockdown would be terrible. Yeah, people don't realize.
Well, that's another thing that you see a lot is, my business survives, so you're wrong.
Wiki says, I went to university, studied art for 3 years, did tattoos for a few years, did a mess of illegal crap, and retired at 40. Don't try this at home. I love you, Wook.
He's like a cautionary tale that's like too late.
Nicole says, I'm anti-dingbat. I love that, Nicole. I really do. Oh, God, that's one of my favorite comments ever on this stream so far. I'm anti-dingbat. I was going to college before the pandemic shut everything down. The CRT, SJW, whatever type crap was in just about every class in some form or another. Yeah, they've really shoehorned it into the curriculum. Something crazy, Shellback. I mean, it's nuts. And by the way, it's great to see you, Tim. Thanks for coming over and hanging out.
I just can't help but think if I was in college now, as bad as things are in college, how much of an easier time I would have had getting through it. As far as grades go, I wouldn't do it either. I mean, like I just like because in college I didn't know then what I know now, stuff like that. When you're younger,
there's a couple computer related things that I would love to actually go back to. The local community college here for, but I will not set foot into a college right now. There's just no way, it's just, I won't do it. Seen a few go down, some others who went down crashed badly and they're never going to recover. Yeah, the businesses got hit so hard. They really did. Brutal Morningwood says, makes me kind of glad they put me in a room in 6th grade and just let me play Uno until graduation. Nice, dude.
That's funny and sad at the same time. It really is.
It might be harder than you think unless you allow yourself to become brainwashed, yeah. Or at least act like you're brainwashed. Yeah, I would.
No difference.
I would have to play along pretty much. Orbital Nation says, hey, Drew. Hey, PJ. Great to see you, my friend. Sentinel says, going to college was a wonderful experience for me. I was that last generation of kids who got to enjoy that time without cancel culture, without every girl being a feminist. My God, how? California. Ugh, universities have certainly changed. Yes, they have. Guy says, brutal morning with playing Uno. Is that a masturbation joke? Oh, man.
I'm sure he wishes it was.
The irritating thing is I was going to college to get a degree in chemical dependency counseling so I could get a good paying job helping fellow veterans get back on their feet.
Whoops.
You know, and Shellback, I totally understand. And Tim, you are every bit a patriot, and you do your best to give back. And I know your situation, buddy. And, you know, hey, listen, we all appreciate you. And you're good people, brother. You know, I know that you're really trying. So Captain Trek says hello to Lady Mist. Sentinel said everything post 2010 is full CRT, Marxist, feminists. Yep, it is. It's crazy. You know, the alphabet mafia is every bit as bad as the anti-racist mafia. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, and they're getting crazy. I mean, when you come out with a whole song that says we're going to come after your kids, that should tell you right there. I mean, good God, you guys! When I saw that, I was fucking outraged. I'm not going to lie.
That was bad.
Because, you know, kids are the most precious thing that we have. And to say that you're going to come after kids and, you know, teach them about kink and all this stuff and the whole drag queen story hour garbage and all that nonsense. Let kids be fucking kids. You know, don't push your garbage transhumanism bullshit on them. No, I don't want to see kids learning about transitioning, and kids shouldn't be learning. They shouldn't be learning about their private parts until, good God, they're past 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Is
I mean,
not what it used to be.
Good God. I mean, good God. Let kids be kids, for God's sakes. God, I remember when I was 9, 10 years old, I'd be riding bikes with my friends. Hell, I was running around playing in the creek with my buddies. Playing fucking G.I. Joes. We weren't worried about what the hell, you know, was tingling down there. I give two shits. It's like, you know, I cared more about playing G.I. Joe. It's like, you know, hey, motherfucker, you're over my house. I get to be the Joes. You can be Cobra, bitch. Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Or playing with your Legos.
Yeah, no, we played.
No, I'm just saying Legos. You could actually do that back then.
We played G.I. Joe.
Legos without worrying about the 3-letter agencies.
Yeah, Kai says, I went to private art school. My teachers were rebels who taught us about propaganda. One said the best lessons he learned were hanging on the side of a wall, looking over his shoulder, looking for cops. You know, and I'm glad that they did teach you how to tell the difference, Kai. You know, that's actually teacher being brave at this point.
Really? Putting his job on the line.
Brutal Morningwood says, I need 2 hands to play Uno.
No comment.
Yeah, Godzillionaire said only SJWs could make the mafia lame. Yeah, sadly they did. They made the word lame now. They can ban entire bands because of supposed backward messages in Judas Priest album. Kids will act upon them. It makes me so mad. I supported gay marriage. Was it always about going after kids? No, I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't.
Because I can tell you, the gay people that have common sense don't support this shit. You know, I can tell you that right now, Sentinel. Because some of my very good friends are, I know a lesbian couple that lives a couple towns over that I'm good friends with. I've been friends with one of the women for well over 30 years, my friend Jessica. And she's actually a Trump supporter. She doesn't think like that. And she thinks it's absolutely horrific because she has her own kids.
That's what gets lost in all this is that, if you, as against the causes as we are, don't make no mistake that we're not again, that we're totally not against what these causes are pretending to defend.
No, well, common sense people understand. It's these crazy zombies.
You can't even do it anymore. You can't even defend these people because
these crazy radical zombies that want to go after the kids.
The moment I say I'm for gay marriage, that actually it's called same-sex marriage now. Let's get that right. The moment I say that, I'm put in a box, and it's one of these causes that I'm vehemently against. But as far as everybody's concerned, you're a part of it, and I'm moving on. You're in, I'm gone.
Tim, we're not going to start with this shit, man, because listen, all right, I live in Ohio, and up here we call shit like all right, like when you buy cola, okay, we call shit pop, all right, and I know the people down south, y'all call it fucking soda. But we call the shit pop.
I gotta chime in on this, Tim. When in Rome, and the reason I say that is because I was born back east. Don't hold that against me. I was born back east, where it is creek. Here it's crick. I don't question it. It's just, and also I don't call it pop. I still call it soda. But obviously, I'm not going to vilify someone that calls it pop. There, got that out.
I was trying to beat Simon's Quest in time to get the best ending. Wow, Simon's Quest. I remember that game. That song really, I remember, was very upset about and again, Shane, people with common sense, gay or not, they're outraged by that because they understand that it's very, kids are just off limits, man. That's your most impressionable. That's when you need your parents the most. That's when you need to have fun the most. And it's just, it's terrible.
I don't believe that you should go after anybody that can't fight back on the most basic level.
Yeah. The pushing of a lot of this is destruction of the concept of nuclear family, and this has been one of their ideals for decades. Yeah, unfortunately, you're spot on with that, Fury Kitten. That's exactly what it's about. And again, and I'll touch on it in a minute and connect the bigger dot here, but Fury Kitten is 100% correct there. I'm convinced the left has no idea what the prefix anti means. Yeah, they really don't. Louisiana here, we just say Coke.
Nice.
We call it soda on the West Coast too, but the West Coast does have a more reputation.
FYI, fun fact, in Boston they call it tonic.
Fury Kitten says it's fizzy pop. I am English. We invented the language. Fizzy pop. Oh, so Nicole says soda pop soda.
Now I'm just confused.
Texans, you want Coke?
Texans, you want to secede? I didn't say it.
Shellback says, LOL, we need to have a lingo stream. Pepsi, no Coke. That's
I was just about to say, cheeseburger. Classic.
Oh man. But no, what Fury Kitten was getting at, and the bigger dot that I wanted to connect is remember, they need to take away the nuclear family in order to be able to push the depopulation agenda. Because when you blow up the concept of the nuclear family, okay, it's a lot easier to, when you're sitting there talking to people that are single parents, or, there's absence of fathers in homes, and you can reach really broken kids that way because you can use their weakness to get into their minds. And that's why there's this big push to try to discourage people from getting married. Hell, they're trying to discourage women from having babies. And why is that? And again, it goes back to the depopulation agenda. Because, I know that a lot of people, hell, 10, 15 years ago, we thought this was a wild ass conspiracy theory. Oh, there is people that could push for that. There isn't people that could push for that. Not at all. Then, okay, you look at somebody like Bill Gates and said, planet would be fine if, we took off about 500 million. What? They're just real ghoulish fucking people, man, that don't value human life one bit. And that is, I think, hard to wrap our heads around because we have humanity. But when you go and look at something like UN Agenda 2030, and if you're new to my stream, if you haven't had the opportunity to go research UN Agenda 2030, go on the UN website. It's all there. You can see in plain as day the globalist agenda. And if you can read through all the buzzwords, because, there's a lot of reading between the lines that you have to do, you can see exactly clear as day what the plan is. And a lot of it is depopulating. They want people to die. And they're pushing people in ways to make that expedient.
The way they would say it is not be born, but right.
Yeah. Well, they're cutting it off at all ends of the spectrum.
I guess so, yeah.
They're euthanizing old people. You're aborting babies.
Sure.
And then, you're pushing the trans thing that in turn, they have one of the highest suicide rates because they're so confused in their head. And they enter a depression that they can't get out of. It's crazy, and they're accomplishing all of this.
There's no support for these people. The fact is, there's millions of people out there saying, be yourself. If this is what you truly feel you are, then become that, and totally ignoring the cerebral aspect of something, a decision as massive as that one.
Well, Nicole, listen, okay, UN headquarters is globalist headquarters. That's exactly what it is. I know that you guys, somebody mentioned Jolt Cola. Jesus Christ. I remember Jolt Cola. I drank one of those twice in my life, and I don't think I came down for 2 days.
I was too afraid. I'll admit it. I was a coward.
I don't think I came down for 2 days. I did that a couple times when I was younger, man. And, oh, man, those fuckers worked. I'm not a big fan of marriage myself. I get it. Listen, I get it.
If you want to make that as a personal choice that you don't want to get married, that's not what we're talking about. Though. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like,
that's a personal choice every person can make for themselves.
It's just, the bigger thing is, I think the depopulation part is what worries me. That is really, I think, what scares the absolute living hell out of me, because, when you're saying people's lives don't matter at all, and, you just have to be at this population number come hell or come high water, well, then I start thinking that, you have a personal fucking agenda.
Even if it's for the right reasons.
Well, there is no right reason. You're
right. You're right. That didn't come out correctly. I apologize for that.
I mean, it's live and let live, dude. There is no.
Even if it was under the guise of what they would try to convince you is the right reason.
Yeah.
Which I guess is what they're doing but yeah.
is how they're strangely used to call that slavery. Yeah, it's crazy, and now they're advocating for it. I mean, they're openly pushing segregation. They don't, you've got colleges that have strictly black areas, and you're not allowed, no white people allowed.
We're not just talking about Southern Grambling and Emory at this point. I mean,
yeah, it's exactly, Shellback. It's just being a family unit in general. They want to kill that off. They don't want you to have kids. They don't want you to pass knowledge down. Because that's another big thing.
They're trying to eliminate all is the existence of the Norman Rockwell portrait.
Yeah, exactly. And that's scary. It's crazy, man, that we're approaching what is on the Georgia Guidestones. It's nuts, you guys. And this is why it's so important for people to speak out against it. If you're interested in journalism, do some writing. If you feel like you're confident, you don't mind being in front of a microphone or on camera, go and start a channel. Get the word out, because we need more people fighting the battle. We need people getting the word out. We need people waking people up.
Strengthen numbers.
Because until we bring back common sense, people are going to be wandering around in this days just following the Pied Piper to their destruction. And we can't allow that to happen, folks. I mean, it's just, it doesn't matter what country you live in. And I'm speaking to a lot of Americans here. I understand that. But there's people that watch this channel and hang out among our circle of friends that are from, all over the globe. And it's happening in their countries too. And we need to rise up together patriotically in the name of our countries and say, we reject this shit. We don't want it. I mean, and just make it known and fight it. It's hard to do because I know a lot of things are getting increasingly authoritarian. Just look at Canada. And it's coming here too. But look at Canada right now. They got it bad. And there's other places besides Canada that have it really bad. But it is eventually coming right home to the U.S. And then we're on a rapid pace to get there with the assholes we have in charge. So now is the time to fight. We need to keep the identity of ourselves, number one, and our countries, number two, intact. Because the minute we fall into collectivism is the minute that we're going to give into authoritarianism.
Slippery slope.
So you don't want that to happen. I remember that movie for a kid.
That was a great movie. Peter Finch.
Yeah. I need to do a rewatch of They Live. I really want to have I might have to do like our buddy Wes Moody does, and I might have to go on Odyssey and do it. But I need to do a watch party of They Live. And we need to just watch that movie together and have a good discussion about it, guys. Because I think that that is so apropos right now. Hell, I'd love to go down my whole red pill list of movies. I mean, God, I'd like to watch They Lived, the original Red Dawn. God, I could just go on.
Salivating.
Yep. mean, because there's a ton of good ones. But the point is, there's going to be more and more radical policies coming. You know, of course, those of you that live in America, you can see the writing on the wall. You see exactly these things that they keep introducing. And we're headed to a place where, you know, we'll be chilling in the camps together, man. You know, I'll get pulled out of my house because listen, I'm proudly unvaxxed. I'm not going to get vaxxed. You guys know that. So, yeah, one of these times, well, they probably won't let me broadcast, obviously. They won't let me say this type of stuff, but it's like,
I can safely say that you've clicked off quite a few boxes of the ne'er-do-well checklist as far as the other side is concerned.
Yeah, but yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I could be live from the quarantine camp. You never know, but you know, hey,
contraband electronics allowed.
You know, if I run into any of you guys, at least it'll be a party, right? Those coup cards are really easy to make. Dude, Godzillionaire, if you could, if you could actually make me one of those and, you know, send it to me, I'd be grateful. Because then maybe I could, like, take a flight. Oh, man. Just got a Blu-ray of Red Dawn, $5.99. Good, dude, good. And definitely the original, because
that goes without saying.
The reboot sucked. It didn't suck, but it wasn't great. I'll put it.
Nor could it be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't think it was terrible. It just wasn't the greatest.
It was actually one of the rare cases where a reboot wasn't terrible. That's the way I feel.
Wiki Lives Matter says Gulag Pirate Radio. Yeah.
Yes.
Shellback says unclean. Drew is unclean. Yeah, I am. I really am.
I'm sitting right next to him. I can attest to that.
Oh man, but no, folks. It just every week when I have these streams, it's like, you know, some new crazy set of restrictions or something is in order. This has to be the craziest decade of our years on this planet. And I don't know that I've ever seen anything this crazy. Because like I said, all what used to be conspiracy theories are now coming out as truth. It's nuts. Nicole says he is not of the body of the last sense from Invasion of Body Snatchers.
Of course, the original Invasion of the Body
That's
Snatchers,
a classic
1956.
movie. Classic movie.
Don't watch any other version of that ever.
Oh, classic movie too. Yeah. It just, man, just sitting back and watching all this unfold, though, it's just crazy. You know, and I wonder how history is going to remember these times. But
well, it depends. I mean, who's writing the books?
Yep.
History is written by the side who wins.
Well, all I can say is, folks, let's make sure that we're the side that wins. You know, and the only way that we're going to do that is to continue to have these discussions, continue to support one another, and continue to spread the word of freedom, basically. Freedom and liberty. Those are two things that you should never compromise on. Should always strive for. So you know, and I think in the end, that is what will win out. Puritan says it came from the desert and the Invaders TV series. Wow. You guys are going back. You guys are really going back. But see, you know, you want to watch good shit, go to the archive.
Gotta go back.
Gotta go back. You know, you try to watch any of these on certain streaming platforms now, it's like, God, there'd be a trigger warning before it. You know, there probably would be a trigger warning on the original Red Dawn. Hell, there'd probably be a trigger warning on the original Roadhouse.
Oh, don't say that.
It would, dude.
So bad. So bad it's good.
Because Patrick Swayze played a masculine man.
Come on. Did they really objectify women in that movie? No, I'm just kidding.
Ted Cruz introduced a bill that will try and fight the government from creating a vaccine database. I hope so.
Yeah.
Jamie, I hope so, because that is frightening. When you start dipping into people's medical records, which is not supposed to happen, when you start dipping into their medical histories, medical records, and the government now.
Remember the good old days when we were all pitching about the Patriot Act?
Yeah.
Remember those? Oh, I almost missed those days.
Yeah. Well, Patriot Act, I supported it at the time, but man, it opened
you
the
supported
door.
what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's what it was, and you know that's a lot of times that happens with the government. You support what it's supposed to be, and then you realize what it is.
Yep. Yeah, sadly, the Patriot Act kind of blew up in our faces, to be honest.
One step below No Child Left Behind.
Wow, Nicole.
Family Video.
You got a collection. You got a collection, lady. Holy cow. But
I'm proud of my DVD collection. I think it's like 70, 75 strong, and like
oh, need to go
be humble, Will. Be humble.
Apollo Patriot, just go back and buy you know, as far as televised cartoons, yeah, you could buy those, but you know, if you go back in old comics, listen, buy the original runs, G.I. Joe, the old classics, the Larry Hama books, buy like some of the old Alpha Flight was good. You know, Uncanny X-Men originals were good. I mean, God, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man. I read that like crazy. Wake Down says, hail at Supreme Heretic. Hail the Wake Down. Great to see you, my friend. Absolutely. Man. Well, again, folks, I appreciate your time. And I want to thank you for coming and checking this stream out. I wanted to do one of my streams instead of late at night during the day. And I also been telling my buddy I was going to have him on. And
better late than never.
And we were going to do a stream together from the bunker with Old Glory behind us. And we pulled it off. So I'm glad to do it. And
feelings mutual.
I am very, very happy to have had your company for this past little over an hour. And thank you.
Really, it's only been a little over an hour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've rolled through the topics, my friend. We have rolled through the topics. Good conversations too. The chat, you know, I got to give you guys credit. You had great points, great thoughts today. Thank you so much. Again, folks, if you want to help out the channel, because my channel is not monetized yet, we are working towards that goal, but it is, still got a lot of chugging to go yet. We're about 400 or so subs away. And in the meantime, if you want to super chat in your own way, do have a Stream Elements link. All you have to do is, type in like !tip. We'll give you that link. It's the Stream Elements. I think it should pop up. Yeah, there you go.
I see it.
So you can use that link to support the channel. Also, do have a PayPal. And you can follow me on Twitter at Supreme Heretic. Look for me next Thursday. We will be doing the Pegasus Actual podcast. I had to postpone yesterday. We had a power outage here, which sucked. So I was unfortunately not able to do the show yesterday. But Brightest Day and I both will be back next week. We will do the episode we were going to do, which was Maelstrom. It is going to be the death of Starbuck, so you won't want to miss that. Those of you that have been following our weekly review of Battlestar, it's going to be a barn burner of a discussion, a barn burner of an episode, so make sure that you check that out. Other than that, Tuesday I will have our Rogue Entertainment usual show. The Rogue Squadron will be on. And then on Wednesday, I will probably be on Bounding Live. And of course, also Thursday, I'll be jumping over on Comics Division's channel on Thursday Night Throwdown, so don't miss me there either. But until then, till next week, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great weekend. Be Patriots. And don't give in to the left ever. All right. Take care, folks.
They think it's right to murder. They want to murder. Look at all the people, and they get a kick out of it. A sexual kick out of it. The whole thing, I think it's sick. 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 The whole thing, I think it's sick.